Hey, happy Monday, folks. Bill here. Want to talk with you some about snivel gear in the Army or Army Reserve. I mean, this can apply, cross component, but I wanted to share some of it with you today. So, what recently provoked this topic of discussion is none other than the fleece outer garment. It is called an outer garment, as expressed recently by the Sergeant Major of the Army, none other than SMA Michael Grinston, who's on, not Snapchat, what's it called? Instagram. Instagram. He's on Instagram. So you can find his stuff on there. And so a comment was made about the, dinosaurish CSM, the rolling dumb was what I was referred to by being a sergeant major who kind of the stay off my grass type. We were soldiers, Sergeant Major Plumley type demeanor and attitude of the command sergeant major, basically being resistant to the idea and introduction of the fleece as an outer garment because it's got the name tape and the rank Velcro and everything to make it legit. And so it provoked me to discuss my methods for staying warm and dry across my 30 years of service that does not actually really warrant wearing fleece. I'm not against fleece, okay? But I just wanted to expand on that for a little bit with you all for a few minutes. And hopefully this is a good discussion and we all walk away with something from it. So here I am wearing the $7 to $8 t-shirt that can be bought at any AAFES, clothing sales, PX area. And it is allowed as an undergarment to the OCP or the AC, used to be the ACU. I'm wearing the OCP Coyote Brown version right now that I still have despite being retired. So this was the foundation of my secret of keeping my core warm in inclement weather. All right, and I'm going to get to the reasons for this. Then on that, I put my top on, obviously. And this came in real handy as a drill sergeant as well. When I was a drill sergeant, it get chilly outside, but then there's times you go inside or you get moving throughout the day and you become hot. This kind of offers a nice middle ground version to where you don't get hot and sweaty and then cold because you're sweaty, okay? And it also offers enough warmth and protection, I mean, as long as it's not like frigid temperatures, right? Like way below freezing, like sub-zero stuff. I mean, then obviously you're going to have to layer up. This is a nice foundational layer that I often used. Well, then we have what I would put on outside of, so I got turned on to Gore-Tex in the late 90s, early 90s, really. I love Gore-Tex. I will promote Gore-Tex all day long, okay? It's just durable, it's water resistant, it'll keep you warm. Again, maybe not sub-zero warm without putting a liner in it or layers or, that type of stuff. But I love Gore-Tex. So then, on the outside of my OCP, I would wear none other than this, Gore-Tex parka. Now, the Gore-Tex parkas have changed over the years, and I want to show you an example. I've got my BDU one. All right, this is my favorite version of Gore-Tex because it's got this hood, okay? And some of them come with a hood that rolls up and tucks in. This ain't that type of hood. This hood is layered, okay? So if you need to throw something up over the ears and over the patrol cap, say you're out in the woods or whatever, you can do so real easy and quickly. Or not out in the woods, but on a range. Say you're running a range. And then the parka has these handy dandy zipper flaps for the armpits. All right, and I would use these all the time, okay? Start getting a little sweaty under the armpit, that's your sign, right? You don't want to get so sweaty that you get cold then. You become cold again because of the condensation from the sweat. So you open the old zipper flaps. Okay, that's what I miss about the old physical fitness uniform, the gray jackets. We don't have that now with the black jackets, right? So this constructs basically, you know, Bill Brownback's version of layering up, being prepared for inclement weather. All right, this also offers, let me go back to the current one, so I stay current with OCP. This one isn't quite as nicely layered as these. It's still got the zipper flaps, okay, like it. This is actually not the official Army issue version of this. I'm going to go ahead and tell that right now. There's another one that's Army issue that's got Velcro for your name tapes and your insignia and your flag. Okay, so check that out as well. This is allowed to be worn. It is AR 670-1 compliant. So those were my choices. Why didn't I go with fleece? Okay, so I'm infantry also. Infantry background. So you get in the woods, right? What's this do? Snags, right? It's going to snag on stuff. So that way I was always prepared, better prepared to go anywhere about my day. Now, these are great. These keep you warm, all right? Is this water resistant? Not so much. I mean, you know, the newer Coyote version's got like, excuse me, some polyester to it and stuff. And so maybe on the shoulders and stuff, and it can be water resistant to a point, all right? But this fleecy stuff, it's going to be like a sponge eventually. It's got to be, okay? It's just, it's common sense, all right? So the Gore-Tex can eventually soak through as well. But I guarantee you it's going to resist water a lot longer than the fleece. So that's why that was my choice. These are very cozy throughout the day, particularly even in a cold classroom. What I like about the t-shirt, the long sleeve t-shirt, is again, it offers that layer of warmth when I walk into a classroom. And I just simply slip this off, put it on my chair, right? No harm done, no big deal. So personal preference. I just don't like the fleece, okay? Now where the rolling dumb comes in is when I force everyone else to do what I do. Now back in the 90s, we had this thing called uniformity in formations. And you wore what the leader wore. And if you didn't, you got in the front leaning rest or some calisthenic position until you figured out what your malfunction was, so you could then recover, go correct the malfunction, and go about your day. That was very true. Now, here's the why, right? Leadership, purpose, direction, motivation. I'm giving you the purpose. Here's the why behind uniformity. Believe it or not, it's not just rolling dumb or stupid. The snivel gear we had back then was like vinyl, thick crap that would peel, dilapidate, those types of things, and it caused an extra amount of perspiration and sweat to the body. All right, so for infantry, we have to think of our weakest link, which is that private, maybe that PFC, maybe that specialist that is still learning field craft and how to go about the day of being ready to move right now. I used to joke around, as soon as I bust out my MRE, we're going to be moving again. Okay, and that in fact was what would happen a lot. So you would field dress your MRE, and I'll get into that in another video. But you would field dress your dress, okay? Something quick to throw on with that old rain gear and stuff, and even with some of the new, you're eventually going to get wet inside. If you're out exposed to it long enough, you can be wearing the fleece, you can be wearing the Gore-Tex, right? The probability, the likelihood of eventually getting wet inside is there, whether it be by your own perspiration or the water soaking through, whatever. So once you get moving as an infantryman or woman, you get warmed up. So you don't need that stuff on. And that was the purpose of uniformity, okay? It was to instill that discipline of, you know, what is the least that I need right now to wear, okay, to go about my day and be effective, all right? Now, we had a motto called suck it up and drive on, too, all right? And sometimes it got stupid. Where it gets carried away is when you're out in that sub-zero weather, you're sitting around the whole day. The platoon sergeant, the first sergeant knows you aren't going to be doing anything. Go ahead, dress up, man. Put the dilapidating vinyl on, whatever. So sometimes it gets carried away, it gets silly, it gets stupid. But I wanted to give you purpose behind rolling dumb. Another thing about rolling dumb, but rolling dumb is basically when something changes and the ego gets in the way of adapting to that change. Okay, so that could be also constituted as rolling dumb. All right, gloves. Real quick, I wanted to touch on gloves and socks. So let's start with socks. So here's some, I think Fox River socks. Yes, Fox River socks. What I don't like about these kind of socks is your feet, again, tend to build up sweat real quick. And when you stop that road march, they might prevent blisters, but when you stop that road march, you're instantly like pool of sweat in your boots. All right. So what I like to do is layer. There's a couple different ways to do that. You got these, I think they're Polypro socks, if I remember correctly, or dress socks. Again, from the Clothing and Sales. You put these on first. No moleskin or anything, just these. Then you put these handy dandy, and what I like about these is they're cheap, just like the long sleeve shirt, $7-8. You get these bad boys, these cotton socks for about $7-8 for a pack of 6, I think it is, or pack of 3. All right, and they work great. They go over these, and then guess what? When you stop for a sock change to go in the classroom now because you're done with the morning ruck march, take these off, put these back on. All right, multi-purpose. And then the layering, having the friction zone between this and not this in your foot, prevents blisters. All right, so that you can also do dress socks. I got my dress socks out, Army issue for the low quarters. Those can be your second layer. All right, so that takes your socks. Gloves, because basically keeping your hands and your feet warm is kind of where it starts with staying warm. Got these, look at these, man, Army issue, and then you got the black exterior glove over the outside, okay? Plain and simple. Don't forget the fleece cap. Fleece cap. So this kind of replaced the pile cap. Used to have a pile cap back in the old BDU days, okay? It was really nice, man. You could sleep in that sucker, everything. This kind of replaced that. Watch these, man, because your head will start sweating under these, especially when it's just around freezing. So I don't like wearing much when it's that 32 to 40 degree temperature. I pretty much like to dress about like normal, okay, because otherwise I start getting sweaty inside after doing very much activity, like a ruck march, that type of stuff. So, all right, folks, I hope this video is helpful. I realize it's probably simple, but we do tend to screw the simple things up from time to time. And hope you enjoy it. Like and subscribe if you would. Make comments, whatever you want to do. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what I'm missing. I don't know everything. So have a good day. Out.